Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, there's another podcast video with, of course, my very special YouTube buddy, Echo Killshot.
Yo, what's up, guys?
So today we're gonna keep the ball rolling. I guess start kicking the ball, if you metaphorically want to, by talking about more Ninjago. So the last time we did a podcast, it's been a while. I've been trying to get you. I'm like, look, watch, finish season 7, get to season 8. It's the best season. Now, no spoilers in the comments, because at the time of recording this, Crystallized is done. I have seen all 15 seasons. Echo has not, so he's about to start 9. So do not spoil anything. But I guess we'll start with season 7, Hands of Time. What are your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts on the season. So, as Franchise said, it did take me like a year to end up finishing the season. Not because it was like super duper bad; it was so unwatchable, but because I probably just had a lot of other stuff going on, and he's been, constantly telling me to just finish it so I could get on to season 8. But since we're just talking about solely season 7 for this part of the podcast, it was good. Look, no Ninjago season is bad. And Franchise, I believe you said this is your least favorite season.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think, real quick, I think Chronix and Crux are pretty unique and cool villains. I think they have this sort of presence to them that is eerie, but it's also sometimes funny. I mean, especially because Chronix is kind of like the dumb younger brother in the situation. But I enjoyed them for what they brought to the table for this pretty cool season. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, when I say it's my least favorite, like you said, I don't think there's a bad Ninjago season, but I just feel like the writing was not by the Hagemans or Braggy Shoot or however you say his name. It was some rando dude who did Day of the Departed. So I don't think the writing was too good. I think the animation was actually kind of crap, because I think I told you there's a shot where Nia is completely bald, or people just kind of like, it's almost like they're floating. They don't like run. They just kind of like skeet over. The action scenes are sometimes, really freaking good, like the younger Wu and Garmadon versus the Chronix and Crux in the monastery. That's a great fight. And then there's some where, the ninja just talking at Mega Monster Amusement Park, and Lloyd just kind of like bitch slaps a snake, and he just, no effort is given in the animation. He just kind of like lifts his left arm. So it's a bit of a hit and miss for me. I think Chronix and Crux are okay villains. They're not my favorite, but they're not horrible. But, overall, again, it's not bad, but it is definitely on the weaker side of this entire franchise. And it's not to say it has zero merits. I mean, I think the voice acting is still great as ever. This is our last time with Jillian Michaels as Lloyd. So that's
Thank
kind of
God. Thank God.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But this giant cliffhanger of, where's Wu, what happens to him, because, he gets lost in the time stream and all that. And there's a lot of, I think, different things, especially, who's Samurai X, right? We don't know who that is yet at the time of season 7. But there's little things like that. The action's okay. Overall, I'd probably give it like an 8 or 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it's not bad, but it's nothing too special in my opinion. But I don't know. I mean, I'd have to rewatch it, but I think probably the highlight is that monastery fight. I think that's just such a well choreographed action scene. The shots are great in it. I don't know. I think they really did a good job with that fight.
Yeah, same. And like you were saying before about the identity of Samurai X, I think that's something they did really well, and they did continued on doing really well in season 8. Obviously, they had us think it was, Misako, even though that was probably like least likely, in my opinion. Skylar, just everybody when Nia is having that bit of tussle rustle with Samurai X. And to be honest, I did think it was going to be Skylar, but she's got her own noodle shop going on, so she probably don't got time to be crime fighting in Samurai X costume, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Nia walks in the restaurant and she's like, I got it, it's Skylar. And Skylar's cooking noodles. She's like, oh, I am? That's cool. So she's like, oh, that got shot down.
Yeah. I mean, we need to see more of Skylar, because she is kind of let down in that one scene. when they go to find a Kronks and Crux, and she's like, I want to come, but nobody offers to be like, hey Shelly, you want to come help us? So I feel like that's kind of sad.
They're like, well, why don't you keep making noodles? All right, we got to get the puffy pot sticker back on the menu first.
Oh yeah,
that's number one problem for her right now. But yeah, we may see her in the future. Who knows? But closing remarks on season 7. I do know, but I'm not telling you. Because you come over and kill me. But what are your final words on Hands of Time before? Because Sons of Garmadon, it's going to be a longer time talking about it. But what are your thoughts on Hands of Time? Just to close it off.
Just to close it off, I'm gonna give. If I were to give it a letter rating, I'd give it a B+, B-. Maybe like a C+. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it's my least favorite season, but and you also got to understand me taking a while to finish it.
Yeah.
I think I left off on episode 5 on that time, so that also has a part in affecting my final rating on this season. But I mean, look, no season in Ninjago is bad, and we've talked about this plenty times before. In every single podcast episode, I think we've mentioned it. It's just you got these different writers, and it's not like none of their ideas are bad, but some are just better than others. So yeah, but this writer coming up in this next season, bless his freaking brain, bro. They need to like put it in like where they put JFK's brain. They need to put it in one of those things, because God Almighty, this next season we're about to talk about is really good.
Yeah, it's a doozy. It's a big one. So there's a few things I want to mention before we actually talk about it, because I don't even know if you know this stuff, but especially for the listeners here, because again, I said listeners because it's a podcast. I guess you can watch the gameplay I have, but whatever. So there are these little, in Season 8 Sons of Garmadon, there's these little flashbacks where, we see Master Wu meet the ninja. And a lot of people were asking me, not a lot, but a few people were asking me, hey, Francis, how does, Zane get his powers? And I was like, oh, shoot, I don't even know that. And they basically said in the canon, in an interview, that the ice ninja who visits Dr. Julian in that little flashback in the beginning, he is actually dying, and he transfers his powers to Zane. That's how he gets the powers. There's also the whole air jitsu thing, which we talked about, off camera, but basically to summarize that, it's not canon anymore, primarily because the writers didn't want the ninja to feel like superheroes. Even though they have powers, they still wanted to relatively keep it grounded, because if they can fly and they can summon dragons, I mean, where are the stakes at all? There's none. So there's that, and then I think the designs. I mean, we'll get to it, but I mean, I remember when this show originally, this season was originally coming out. I mean, the designs was like it was World War III. I mean, it took me it took me a hot second to get used to it, but I didn't hate on any of them. But they're different. They're different because there's all these different. Kai's hair is like fire, and Nia's got a mole, or Zane basically didn't change at all. But Cole, like you said, Cole looks high. Which she's not, but he looks weird. Jay's got like this Muslim hair and all that, like he is in the Lego Ninjago movie. So they heavily borrowed from the movie, but that's not a bad thing. And the reason why they look different is A, they got older and they just wanted to change how they look. Everyone does. And B, when Wu fell into the time stream with the Chronics and Crux, he not only became a baby, he also kind of altered them a little bit because they are related. So time works a weird way in that, but with all that out of the way, because trust me, a lot of people are confused still about that. Just overall, the execution, the writing, acting, directing, action. What do you think about Season 8? Because I've been hyping this up for a long-ass time, and I just want to hear your thoughts real quick on this.
This is franchise's absolute favorite season, or so he says. I mean, it's crazy to say you got like what, 8 or 7 more seasons after that, and this one is your favorite. Plus all the ones prior to that. Like, how can it be so good? And I completely see why it is for him. I don't know if it is for me yet. I gotta let it savor in more. see how I feel about it in like a month after I've watched season 9, 10, and all that. But one of the big things for me is Lloyd. I don't hate Jillian, but I hate her voice. Um, yeah, no, just terrible Lloyd. Like, I mean, I guess it kind of worked for when he was a kid, but when he got that growth in season 2, there was just no need for her. I mean,
Yeah.
my boy was like 15, 16, like he needed to hit puberty, but now he finally has. And thank God for season 7, according to canon, because we would not have this. I mean, his hairstyle, his eyes, specifically Lord alone, his voice. Oh my God, like dude, he needs to pull more than the Jade Princess. Which I mean, I'll get to that too because it's absolutely devastating what happens because it happens every time. It happened in season 4 with Kai, well, kind of, sorta. At least that's what we thought for like a few episodes.
Oh, with Skylar?
Yeah, with Skylar. But then it turned out she was actually being like manipulated into doing that, but she wasn't actually like evil. But man, and it's so badass when Lloyd in that first episode when he's fighting the Sons of Garmadon. I mean, and they keep his face a secret. I love that. I love that because you're so anxious to see what his new look is, but you're seeing his new ninja costume, and it all rolls into one, and it all rolls so beautifully, just like this entire season from start to finish.
Yeah. I mean, what's really powerful just about... I mean, there's a million powerful things in the season, but I think what's really cool is that just from the first second of the season, you see the Sons of Garmadon, and if you notice, there's one, and they're basically wearing the ninja's colors. So at first, you're like, oh, cool, new ninja suits. Why aren't they talking? Why are they stealing a mask? What's going on? And then Lloyd beats him up, and then it just rolls into this huge badass chase scene with Mr. E. And you get the new voice, you get these cool little quips and jokes that actually work. Sometimes, in my opinion, the older Ninjago seasons, they kind of try to be funny sometimes, but other than Jay, and sometimes it doesn't work because Ninjago is a drama action at its core, and it's like the MCU. Some jokes land, some jokes don't, but for the most part they did. And just from that scene alone, I mean, just the it's time to get the team back, just like that. It brings such a new life to this show, and just the overall presentation, just like when you see Nia in like, I guess, like, your costume with the water in the beginning, and she's like thirsty, and she throws water. That's my best Nia voice, but just seeing like the Hagemans, and just seeing like people who worked on it, like the writing on the screen, it just gives a more professional feeling to it all.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna pull a season 4, honestly, when Lloyd said it's time to bring back the team, like because in season 4, of course, due to the death quotation marks of Zane, they all completely split up. But it's not like as split up. I guess they just don't go on as many missions together. But I love everybody's like entrance into the season. Like, you got Fire and Ice, Zane and Kai working together on a mission. You see the reveals of them. You see Jay and Cole trying to find Master Wu by in the funniest way too. And dude, the first time I saw Cole, like I swear I thought he was high or something, because I don't think it could be the face or the hairstyle. I don't know. Something about him, like, I think changed a little too much for me, at least.
No, I get that. Yeah, it's a bit jarring.
Everything else, like, I like his costume, the voice, just everything stayed the same about him. And that's what I like. And then Jay, of course, it was cool seeing him. And then, of course, you got Nia. Nia's entrance was, I think, the best, because you got these slave owners pretty much.
Yeah.
And then she comes along with some water, and then these guys are like, "Hey, yeah, you get over here, give me some water." You're like, right. "I'll give you water." Bah!
Yeah. Boom.
I just thought that was so cool, and in other words, but I'm not gonna say them because that makes me look like a weirdo. All I will say is she's a badass, and her hair and just everything, and yeah. So when they get the call to all come together, it's like, oh, it's like a Justice League meeting. That's what it feels like.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, what do you think about the Oni masks, the Jade Princess Harumi, just the whole setup of the season? As far as plot, how do you like that?
I thought I underestimated the of Garmadon. Maybe a little much. I thought they were just going to be these band of misfits that don't have any powers whatsoever. And I thought that until I saw that big, humongous guy when in the Snake
Kilo.
Jaguar episode. Yeah. And Zane goes undercover. Like, even us as the audience and him are like, what the hell?
This dude's big.
Bro, why are you on Garmadon? You could be making money and then crap doing freaking weightlifting.
Yeah, right.
Powerlifting. What are you doing in here? So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, they're just like they're just bikers at heart, honestly, and I totally respect that. I think it's pretty rad, rad.
Yeah, radical.
I will never say that again. Okay.
Well, speaking of rad, I think you hit the nail on the head with the fact that these, there's no snake guys, there's no, ghosts, there's no djinns, there's, overlord. It's just bikers. And yeah, Kilo's effing huge and Harumi's freaking nuts. But, speaking of Harumi, before we really get into it, but at the end of the day, again, she's just a person. When she's not putting a mask on, she has no spinjitzu, she has no powers, she has a knife.
She put a mask on. If you think about it, figuratively, she put a mask on.
Right.
When she was with the ninja, and pisses me off to this day, bro. Stupid.
It's good writing, you know what I mean? Like, I love it because the first time, and you mentioned this, you never suspected the baby was Wu, and you never suspected Harumi was bad because of the good voice acting and the good writing.
It was only when the ninja found out that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go with you guys, what you guys said. And then, she ends up smirking at the end. I mean, how many other times could she have smirked behind their backs? Maybe the camera or the animation crew just didn't want to show us. I'm like, really, guys?
Yeah,
really?
Right. Yeah, I mean, hell, she's dedicated. She's a pretty good actor, Harumi.
Yeah, actor in the voice acting, real world, and in the actual show, like her as a character, pretty good actor. Again with Harumi, she's really good voice. You think she'd just be this, Princess Fiona type, right?
Uh-huh.
But no, she's much more than that, and dude, her and Lloyd's relationship, the soundtrack. Okay, let me just talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack is really good in the season, especially with like all the songs.
Mm-hmm.
The intro song, kind of like a play on of not a Weekend Whip, but that other song.
Yeah, the overture with you.
Yeah. And this is the first season without the words, so it's gonna take me a while to get used to that. But I still thought it was a cool intro. Especially at the end with Garmadon, in the freaking clouds.
Yeah.
But yeah, just all the theme songs that go into this, that go into Lloyd and Harumi's theme. Their theme was pretty cool. I don't know how it went, but it was just so soothing. I was like, it shows how genuine these characters feel for each other.
Yeah,
because they've lived the same experience. Just one didn't go. Well, I guess they both did turn evil, but that's until they just didn't have the right teacher. I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Harumi didn't really get nobody, except adopted parents, but they really only cared about themselves. Yeah, she killed them, bro.
Yeah. And
she set that whole thing up. Yeah, it's oh my gosh, it's so dark when you think about it like that. But they're the same in terms of trying to fit into this role of like this is your destiny. You're the Green Ninja. You're the Jade Princess. But it turned out going wrong way for the other one, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean it's incredibly deep just to think that this she's not evil because she's bitten by a snake or she's a ghost or whatever or revenge. She's evil because she put her faith in the wrong people, and she's going about it the wrong way because the whole reason why she brings back Garmadon is because she thinks he's the real hero, and technically Garmadon did kill the Great Devourer, but she's kind of got an skewed version. But I mean looking back now at season 1. Where you see the Devourer just wrecking shit, just destroying towers and buildings and all that. I mean, it's crazy because you're watching, you're like, oh, you don't think that people in those buildings are getting killed or hurt, but that's what's happening. It's like the opening scene from Batman v Superman, where that dude's like in a giant building and he's praying to God because he's about to die. It's like that, and just seeing little girl Harumi, just that scene where she's like, no, I want to stay, Mama. And the last words she hears are, we'll come for you, we promise, and they don't. She blames Lloyd and the ninja, and that's very powerful writing. It's not, oh, I'm evil because of the show. It's tragic, and it works 1,000,000,000%. And the fact that they were able to do it in a Lego show, and it didn't come off as goofy or cheesy, and it, actually makes you feel for that character, it's insane. I mean, the scene where, they try to get the Mask of Hatred, and it's Harumi just, Lloyd's just like, wait a minute, how do you know I'm an Oni? And the baby's Master Wu, and her just kind of revealing her plan could have felt very boring. And it's like, okay, this is the Scooby-Doo unmasking scene, but it came off as genuine and heartfelt. And she's throwing a knife at him. She's trying to kill him with a knife. I mean, the voice acting is superb, man. I mean, I think every time when Lloyd and Harumi are in the same frame together, it's just a crazy amount of energy.
Yeah, I mean, on the riverboat, I think that whole segment when they're in the jungle, that island, I think it's probably one of the best segments. Or just any episode with them in there, it's automatically like an awesome episode. Obviously, there's a lot of more elements that play into it, and another thing I want to point out real quick is Zane and Pixel. And we find out that Pixel is Samurai X. Okay.
Yes, that's a big...
I'm happy for her, and you could tell in her voice, like even though she's rough, she genuinely wants to help. And it's not even because she's programmed to do that,
Yeah,
like she genuinely wants to help because she's had moments with these ninja, and she's felt like part of the family, and she wants to help out that family. Her and Zane, whenever they share that cute moment. Whenever she's like, "Oh, I can go back into the computer, although I prefer to stay in this body," and Zane's like, "I love your body."
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah. I mean, Zane. I mean, dang, dude, you got
going.
Riz. Yeah, you got ultimate Riz. But I just thought that was a sweet moment for them. Just quick to point out, since we're talking about love relationships.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to talk about. I say real quick.
Take your time.
I want to talk about the badass moments, badass slow motion moments. I was telling Franchise about this last night. It is so cool, especially with the shots. And I'm going to save the best for last in terms of the slow motion shots that I thought stuck out to me. So the first one is when Zane gets on his blue motorcycle and boom off the interstate, chasing the Sons of Garmadon on their bikes. I hate Ultraviolet. By the way, I hate her guts. She tries to make jokes. Her voice is stupid. If you want to use that voice, go in a Mortal Kombat game or something, bro.
Yeah, she's Melina.
Yeah, she's freaking Melina, bro. You're freaking disgusting. Like, I hate her guts so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, as from that, I just thought that scene was so badass. And then my favorite slow motion scene, when they're on the Destiny's Bounty, like 20,000 feet in the air or something.
Yeah.
It's raining. It's pouring. The old man is most definitely snoring.
Yeah.
And without hesitation, and Harumi falls off because they have a fight with Samurai X, but it's not because Pixel went evil, it's because she's a robot and her system can get corrupted by the Sons of Garmadon, which was Harumi's plan.
Yeah.
By the way, she put that thing in there. What did Mr. E did? Oh, we got to talk about that fight after this.
Oh yeah.
So aside from that, when Harumi falls off, because that's just what Harumi does apparently, without hesitation, my man Lloyd jumps off that bitch and boom. Feels like time stops, which is pretty ironic because the last season was about time. In slow motion, boom, and then just dives down like a freaking boss, like a god from the heavens, and lands on the Samurai X freaking thing, and
he just goes to town.
He just town, bro, and he uses the map and parachute. He even tells Harumi to get into the Samurai X gear so she can be safe. My man didn't even, so selfless, bro. Like, he might be my favorite ninja this season. I don't know. It's cray.
Yeah. No, it's incredible.
Like, he was definitely the highlight of the season.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, Lloyd is, especially the voice. The voice actor just does a phenomenal job with the character. And but yeah, so talking about the Zane fight, I think that episode, what's it called, Dead Man's Squall or whatever. I mean, it starts off with Mr. E and Zane fight, and then it goes to the Samurai X fight. And then there's a bit of like a horror element with that spider attacking Nia, and Zane just chucks a freaking knife, and like the spider gets all like disgusting and sprawled out, I mean, there's some like genuinely creepy moments, especially like Harumi singing that "Spider in Your Mouth" song. I mean, that shit's wild, It's insane. I mean, it's like the perfect Halloween season, besides Possession, of course, season 5, but it gets pretty dark, pretty creepy. But yeah, I mean, that fight in the desert is fantastic. I mean, Mr. E just went off.
Yeah, and it's the only episode that doesn't have a recap on it. It starts off right where it left off, in the desert, and it's because Zane in the last episode was like begging him to because he had to hold his motorcycle, so they were both going to go off the cliff. But he wouldn't reveal who he is, bro, and we all thought he was the quiet one, right?
Yeah.
Nah, it was Harumi, because some ambulance medic person one day was like, "Aren't you the quiet one?" It's corny as hell, but I mean, it works, I guess.
I'm sorry.
Aren't you the quiet one? I mean, that's how I think episode 8 started off, right?
7 or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. But in hindsight, without spoiling, of course I won't, because I'm not a jerk. At least I won't do it.
He has spoiled something before.
Well, I won't do it when we're on camera. I'll do it when we're not filming. But there's...
thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. Harumi is definitely, I think, the second best villain in the entire franchise. I mean, she's one of my favorite villains in franchise history, just because of the writing. And trust me, from what you've seen in season 8, it's only the tip of the iceberg, man. Her character goes wild places without, again, saying anything, but it's very, very cool that they... because what's funny is that, if you look online, a lot of people hate Harumi, and they should because she's a villain, but, they hate her potentially wanting to be with Lloyd. They don't see that as a couple. They're like, oh, that's gross because she's an abuser, but, you gotta watch the show, but it's pretty crazy what they do in especially season 9. It's really, really cool.
I still want them to be together, though, because, I want them to actually be a thing, because, they... out of all the relationships, even more than Skylar and Kai, which I don't even know what they are. I mean, I don't want them to just kind of fall off on their relationships. I don't want the writers to just kind of forget about these relationships, about relationships. But I hope they really work in the future on Lloyd and Arumi's relationship.
You'll have to keep watching.
Because I loved it the most. Loved it the most out of every relationship.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy, crazy good. Now, what did you think about Garmadon coming back from the departed realm?
Oh, okay.
Because I thought that was amazing.
So I think I knew it was they've been hyping this whole thing up. I mean, he was in the freaking intro for what, like 9 episodes?
Yeah.
So it's about time. And he looks like he got a buff, honestly. He looks better than he did. Especially with all the new animation. He looks way better than he did 7 seasons ago. So, but he's not the Singarmadon that we and Lloyd remember. And it just feels more powerful in that moment because he feels like he has to defeat his dad again, persuade him. It's kind of like Darth Vader, but I feel like much more difficult.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because that's what they're kind of trying to do in that prison, the maximum security prison. He's just trying to persuade him. He doesn't want to fight him. He really doesn't. I mean, I love how Lloyd. I love when they when they keep the other characters from trying to stop the main guy from going and finishing what he started or something. Like he locks all the ninja in there. Like he told everybody, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a group meeting," and then boom, and just the face that he gives them at the end, where he says, "I'm sorry, but I have to do this." It's so badass, bro.
Yeah,
and then he's just boom.
He dives off again.
Prison. Yeah,
he just loves to jump off stuff.
Yeah, Lloyd is just way more better, way more better.
For sure. I think, going back to Garmadon, I think what's really unique about that, like you said, he's not the same character. And that's really cool when you think about it. Because, in Season 1 and 2, Garmadon was evil, and he was killing, and he was bad. But at the end of the day, especially in Season 1, he still loved his son. Like, he would tell Lloyd, when Lloyd was the green, when they presented the weapons, and, they all found out he was the Green Ninja, it wasn't like some, it's not like Garmadon was like, "Oh shit, I'm out, bye," and he ran away. He was in his room talking to his son. He patted him on the head, and he said, "I'm proud of you, and I love you, and we're gonna have to fight each other one day, but I'm still proud of what you become." And there's that semblance of hope that yes, Garmadon's bad, but there's a line he won't cross. In this season, he straight up tells him, "I have no son," and he whips him through a freaking wall. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't give two craps about that.
Really. Yeah, and dude, you put it in such the best way because there's a line he won't cross, but now there's definitely a line that he just has no feelings. This is a whole different Garmadon, not from the past, but like a whole different Garmadon. And it's sad just seeing the look on Lloyd's face every time because you want them to have a good relationship. And when they did, dude, and when Garmadon was in his human form, I was so proud for Lloyd. I respected Garmadon as a teacher. I thought he was a better teacher than Sensei Wu at some points. And then obviously in Possession,
yeah,
when we see him again, I was just like, let's go. But now he's back, but and just not in the best way. But yeah, he's so bad at when he forms that purple shield around him and he boom sends him through a brick wall.
Yeah.
And that's it, bro. Just tap out.
Yeah, you're done. And even little things like the fact that he's if you actually, I don't know if you noticed, you probably did, but his rib cage is showing and there's purple blood because he's Oni. It's just that's creepy. That's literal Ninjago blood. You see his literal bones protruding from his skin. I mean, that's pretty effed up.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know it's Lego, but I mean, imagine being a Lego guy in the Lego world and seeing that. You'd be out. Yeah,
right. It's just crazy, and you're gonna see as you watch more of the seasons about Garmadon and his progression. But I love how in this season he's more of, I kind of treat Garmadon in this season like a monkey, and not because he's black, but
Okay, bro.
But he's very destructive. If you were with a giant effing gorilla like King Kong, Garmadon's like King Kong. He just destroys. And I know King Kong's good, but whatever. The parallel's there. He's like King Kong. He just destroys shit. He's all powerful and he's menacing. Garmadon, he doesn't really talk a lot. He's not very eloquent. He just goes, he just kind of does that. He doesn't necessarily he's not like, "Oh, son," he's just just kind of making sounds and just beating the crap out of people. He doesn't talk a whole lot. He's just there to do business, you know. And in you know, other seasons, he becomes something else, which I won't tell you. But once we get there, I'll explain. I'll continue this train of thought. But yeah, I always thought Garmadon was kind of like King Kong in this season, just how he's just back with a vengeance, and he's unstoppable. He's like an unstoppable force of evil.
Yeah. God, it's just so heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
And look, this season 8 was just like a part 1 of like 2.5. So I still have to watch Hunted and then March of the Oni, which was supposed to be the end. It was supposed to be the end.
Yeah.
But nope. But honestly, that's fine because
so there you go. Crystallizes the end. So
man, yep, crystallizes the end. Hey, yay. Yay.
But yeah, I don't know. I like, especially the prison fight, or like Garmadon and versus Nia and Misako, like in the hallway. Just little things like Garmadon taking Nia's spear and like about to shove it in her face, and then she dodges at the right second. A lot of the fights feel personal and more intense than they've ever fought. Like Garmadon has, like, he's out for blood.
Yeah, man. God, I'm so freaking. I can't wait for Hunted. I can't wait for Hunted because in the end they end up on that island of the Oni and the Dragon Island. Oh my gosh, I'm so hyped. And you see their clothes ripped, and I'm like, oh. And at first when I was like scrolling through all the seasons just to see what their names were, it's like, oh, why are their clothes ripped? Like, is this gonna be like another season 4? But I mean, it kind of is in a way because they're, you know, kind of stranded on an island, but. It has dragons. It has wait, okay, I might stupid for this, but you know, you might have an explanation, but what if I find like all the ninjas like dragons, like they're from season 1?
Like the Ultra Dragon?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so I'll tell you this, and no spoilers in the comments, guys. The Ultra Dragon is in season 9. He is in it. But
let's go.
Not in the way you expect. It's actually, it's pretty effed up. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. But it's in one of the. I think it's in the first episode. But it's it's. I'll just say he's in it, and I'll leave it at that.
Speaking of leaving things at that, we should just leave season 8 at that. I think all I can say about this season is it's phenomenal.
Now, what would you give it from a 0 to 10?
I think like a 9.8, 9.9.
That's pretty great. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm obviously going to give it a 10. This is my favorite season by far, but not to say 9 through 15 aren't as good. I just feel like this is where Ninjago peaked as a franchise. Like, they came back with a vengeance, and they didn't hold your hand. They never did before, but this was more intense and dramatic and than before. So I'm glad you finally friggin' watched it. And whenever you do finish season 9 and 10, that's when we'll do our next podcast. We'll cover that. But yeah, great season overall. I'm really proud of what they did.
Yeah, me too. I this journey, ever since I started rewatching it, when franchise hit me up, it was like, oh, you should watch Doggo, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, final season's coming out in like a couple months. I'm like, okay, we'll start this journey, and you know what? I'm happy, bro. So freaking happy.
Yeah, I'm glad. It took a while for you to get to this point, but I'm glad you did it, because I remember you called me and you're like, dude, this was amazing, and I'm like, I told you.
I mean, I think I need to listen to franchise more. Maybe sometimes, because if I listen too much, we're gonna get in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, for sure. There's a certain part where you don't listen to what I say, but Ninjago wise, I think you should. But yeah, season 8's great, and then hopefully whenever you get to 9 and 10, we'll talk about it. But for the last part of the podcast here, probably not too much longer. But what are some topics you want to talk about that aren't Ninjago?
Now we could talk about that Gotham Knights game. We could talk about the Super Mario movie. We could talk about, you know what? Let's. I was gonna make a video on this, but honestly, my thing keeps crashing. So you know what? We'll just talk about the Super Mario movie for the last 10 minutes.
So what do you want to talk about first?
Let's just go straight into the voice acting. We only hear 3 of the 6 main characters that are listed. We're obviously missing like Donkey Kong, Princess Peach. What's another one? Who's the other one missing?
Luigi is Charlie Day.
But we heard Luigi.
We heard like a little mumble, but nothing too crazy.
We heard. All I'm saying is, the voices that we got. I think what do you think out of all the 3 voices? Like, so Mario, Toad, and Bowser. Who do you think gave off the like? Which one surprised you the most?
I think Bowser, honestly, because Bowser, he's the main villain, and you want him to sound authoritative and mean and really nasty. And when you hear Jack Black talk, he's none of those things. He's just like he's a comedy guy. He doesn't sound threatening. He just sounds kind of weird. So hearing him talk as, well, not weird, but normal. Hearing him talk as, Bowser, I was like, oh shit, they actually did a good job of, translating that. Toad, it's okay. I mean, I don't know who's doing Toad, but it sounds fine enough. But Mario is not the best.
Yeah, Mario. Look, I think I'd still prefer Chris Pratt because I don't want to hear for like 2 hours just hit me Mario. Whoa.
Yeah,
I just feel like that would be kind of weird, especially because you kind of only hear him making the sound effects in the games. But I mean, he gave off an impression. He was like, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. Like a Brooklyn accent. So it's there, but it's still Chris Pratt. And it's like he's been hyping this up. It's not the voice that's a problem. It's just that he's been hyping it up. So we're thinking, oh yeah, he's gonna sound like Mario.
Yeah.
But nah.
No. Nah. Like when I do a voice, I sound like the character. He just sounds like Chris Pratt doing a Boston accent. Like when you watch Sonic 1 and 2, those 2 Sonic films, and you close your eyes, it's not Roger Craig Smith from the games, but it still sounds like Sonic. If I close my eyes and hear that, I go, oh, that's Chris Pratt in a Boston accent. I don't think, oh, that's Mario. Good job. So look, let's just be honest here. Let's not kid ourselves. Chris Pratt's in this movie because he's called Chris Pratt. He's a good actor in a shit ton of things, and he draws people to his films. Even if they're not good, people will see it because he's in it. That's why they picked him. But hopefully he can actually do a good job, and it's not just, star power, So far, I'm not impressed. Other than that, the animation, though, looks freaking phenomenal. For Illumination, the guys behind Despicable Me and all that, Grinch, whatever, this is probably one of the best-looking animated films I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, every character's design, like Bowser's is, ripped off just straight from the game, which honestly, I like that. Then Toads, Luigi's, just everybody, the Koompa, the Penguins, so like the shadows and the everything, it's just, it feels real. And the grass, especially when he pops out of that what's that thing?
Like a portal?
When he pops out of that portal, and you see the grass, dude, I thought that crap was real, bro. Like I genuinely thought like that grass looks too real, bro. This is like scary. But I see people online, they're trying to like, and it's obviously like fan cast things, but they're trying to pull a Sonic. Where they had to change the design. He looks like Mario, especially a young one too, because this is like they're adapting the story from like the first time he enters Mushroom Kingdom, so he's gonna be just a little younger. or whatever. But he still pulls out the mustache. I like the look. Don't change him, or don't persuade the whole entire Mario team to change him, because he's missing this amount of height from the nose, and his eyes aren't this big or whatever. Just don't do that, because look, unlike Sonic, which I think that whole thing was kind of planned and staged.
Yeah.
Because I know damn well that they weren't going to make it that bad. They really should not touch this design, because it's unique, it's cool.
Yeah, well,
I just
think
like
about
it.
If they change it, what the hell are you going to change it to? I mean, what do you just rotate his eye 1 degree? You put his nose up 2 inches? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't go through all that just to change it. Like, just leave it the way it is. I like it. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it does look a little off, like, I don't know if it's like more muscular or just, I don't know how to describe it, but it's not bad by any stretch.
Yeah. I love it. What's another thing we could talk about? How long do you think this movie is going to be? The runtime?
I mean, most animated films are normally like an hour 45, hour 50. Sometimes you're doing 2 hours like The Incredibles, or like Cars 1 is like, I think 116 minutes. But I think it's probably going to turn out to be roughly like maybe 104 minutes. Roughly around the length of the Lego movies, all 4 of those. Those are around 100 minutes to around 107. I think that's roughly where we're going to be keeping it. At least that's where I'd want it. Anything above like 2 hours, maybe they could do it, but again, 99% of animated films are not in that range.
Yeah, their last film, Rise of Gru, was like an hour and like 29 minutes, just like right where Venom Let There Be Carnage is, where, I mean, I don't want to say that movie was a disappointment, but I mean, really, Marvel? Shortest film of all time? Really?
Yeah, that was
really
way too effing short, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, didn't have enough time whatsoever, and they could have had enough time, because Sony gets kind of long movies, but nope, not for Venom. No. I would love a 2-hour runtime. Dude, imagine watching 2 hours of Mario. Like, I'm now more hyped for this movie. April 2nd could not come soon enough. It could not come soon enough, and I actually made some more notes before we end off this epic podcast video. How hyped are you on a scale of 1 to 10 for this Mario movie?
I'd probably give it like a solid 9. I mean, I played Mario as a kid. I love. I mean, I have a Wii. That's all I have for Nintendo. I used to have a DS and a Wii U and all this shit. I just have a Wii now. And I only think I have like 2 games on the Wii. I gotta get more. But I mean, Mario. It's a universal gaming character. I mean, it's for kids, teens, adults. It's for everyone. Everyone plays Mario. Everyone loves Mario. What I mean? Like, maybe some of the games aren't the best, but 90% out of 100 people know who Mario is, even if they haven't played it. So he's a very universal character. I love the games. I love the world. So to see a movie on it, and it actually does look good, and it's not like a Sonic 1 situation where I want to drown it. It's better than what I thought it was going to be. It's just that voice needs work. That's it.
Yeah. God, but I don't think there's time for that, because I mean, I would hope so, but that's what Chris Pratt wants to, change it up a little, do reshoots, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But the synopsis for the movie actually is, and this can hopefully give you guys an idea of what the movie's going to be about. A plumber named Mario travels through an underground labyrinth with his Luigi, trying to save a captured princess. Yeah, that's
with his Luigi,
pretty much. Huh?
With his Luigi?
With his brother Luigi.
Oh, I didn't hear brother. I just heard with his Luigi.
I might have said Luigi. Just Luigi. I think the trailer had everything, though. I think it was visually stunning and well edited,
Uh-huh.
Props to the whole team. Props to the, marketer or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean,
marketing this
Nintendo.
movie.
Yeah, Nintendo always makes, for the most part, pretty solid games. So I didn't expect a train wreck, but a lot of video game movies have the tendency to not be too good. I think Detective Pikachu was great. Sonic 1 and 2 were good. I actually really liked Assassin's Creed. I think I'm the only person alive. And then Mario looks good. Those are the only. I haven't seen. Uncharted was good, but I haven't seen Tomb Raider. I don't know if that's any good, but
It's all right.
oh, you saw it?
Yeah, they were trying to set up a sequel. I don't know if the sequel is still happening though.
I doubt it.
'Cause
That's a
it's
pretty
been,
older
like,
movie.
forever.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
I mean
Oh,
it looks
you mean
good.
that Tomb Raider?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
you mean
newer.
that Tomb Raider? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Not
that's what I meant. I thought you were talking about the Angelina Jolie one.
Oh no, the newest one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the chick's
Actress in
name.
it is hot though.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But on that note, season 7, pretty good season. Season 8, amazing season. Can't wait. April 7th, I'll be there. Franchise will be there. Reviews coming out. You better expect it to come.
You're right.
But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up for this podcast episode. Please comment down below what other topics you want us to cover, because honestly, like, there's just a lot of stuff to cover, to where it's like, what do we cover on this day or that day? I guess just whatever comes to our mind. But it would always really help if you could leave some suggestions. If you're playing this, while you're playing a video game or whatever, it's still really cool that you take the time to listen, hear us out, if you will. Hear our opinions on these very, very famous franchises and media of pop culture, and hear us talk about them. So I just wanted to say that for our first time back in like freaking 2 months. But yeah, I think we're gonna cut the podcast. I think that was a pretty good run.
Yes. Yeah, I had a great time. So make sure to subscribe to Echo Killshot and myself as I die from nothing. I'm not even sick. I don't know why I'm coughing. But I had a great time. Season 7 and 8 were awesome. And, we don't have to do Ninjago. I mean, if you want, well, we will. But if you want to do a podcast, like Echo said, on anything, again, let us know. Because we are going to do one for Season 9 and 10 of Ninjago. But, like I said, if you want us to do a Star Wars one or a Marvel one or DC, whatever, talk about Ezra Miller and all his shenanigans, I mean, we can do that, So let us know whatever you want to see, and we'll make another podcast, because I think these get decent views, and I think you guys really enjoy them. I love making them, so, whatever we can do always helps. So anyway, dude, I had a great time, and I cannot wait to talk to you again, for the next awesome podcast. But again, leave a like, guys, if you enjoyed. I'll have Echo's channel link in the description below. I promise I will. I'm not just saying that. And thank you guys. And yeah, I know I have a history, but what do you want to do? But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I can't wait to do more. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace out.